What's poppin', y'all? This is DJ with One Shot Game, man. You already know how the motto go. You get one shot at life, but a lifetime to learn all the game you need to help improve your life. The choice is yours on which route you choose to take. Now, as I always say, you get two choices. The ability to settle in the life that has been faithfully set out for you, or the ability to pave your path towards your destiny. That choice is also up to you. So before I get into the title of my video, I want to say a big shout out to all my supporters. You guys are great. And even the ones behind the scenes, I see y'all too. So look, the title of this video is going to be on the fact that truly and honestly, I think everybody have to start understanding everybody's point of view. And the reason why I say that is because oftentimes the thinking and the way we thought was cool for that world back then, but as the world shifts energetically, which is something that we can't see, but we feel it, it's now shifting into an era where the women are being appreciated as well. You know what I'm saying? And I say that to say, like, in the old days, it's a man's world. And what happened is that energy became so strong. I think a lot of men forget the fact that a lot of women were raised in masculine energy. You know what I'm saying? And that energy is not bad. But it's the fact that a lot of women were cut off from actually having the ability to be themselves. And because of that being the case and being raised in masculine energy, you know what I'm saying? A lot of women oftentimes tend to be just as aggressive as men. Because in those old days, for women to finally, exactly be themselves wasn't appreciated, It was overrode and stomped on by the man's ability to feel in power and control, solely because he didn't know how to heal his wounds. Not because he intentionally meant to do that. It's just, if a person don't know how to heal their wounds, and that this is genderless, this is just knowledge and information for everybody, then it portrays a certain aspect where, you know what I'm saying, you have to now be in power and control. But when you take out power, all you have is love. You know what I'm saying? So you got to think about it on the spectrum. It doesn't mean just because women are being more recognized that men are less of. It just means that if men come to the plate with treating a woman as a woman, you know what I'm saying, you'll get the same love reciprocated back to you. But when you treat her like you got to dominate her, you got to overpower her, rule her, and dictate her, now, you know what I'm saying, her ability to be feminine is regressed, and that masculine energy comes to the forefront. You know what I'm saying? And you got to think about it. A lot of women operate in a way where they either have very strong addictions, they manipulate, they lie, you know what I'm saying, they don't tell the truth. And it gets to a point where that's hard for, you know what I'm saying, other women to see the true value. Oftentimes, it's easy to accommodate a male who thinks and operates in that way. You know what I'm saying? To be healthy is the fact that we tell the truth. We operate in a positive manner, and we treat everybody with respect, And so the reason I'm saying this is because I think a lot of men forget that, because there are some women in the world that have now transmuted to where they operate in their feminine energy, and they released and let go of their masculine energy. Does not mean they cannot see through the masculine energy, which is a certain type of energy of feeling macho, feeling better than, feeling as if they have to come to the forefront with aggression, power, and control. And I say that to say, people who, particularly males, who operate in that way, because some women can act like that too. I promise you, oftentimes they have mother wounds or women issues, period. You know what I'm saying? That makes them feel as if that's the only source of validation they get for themselves, is to rule and overpower a woman who is not equally as strong or macho as maybe he would be. But don't get it mistaken and don't get it twisted. Just because she is a woman and she's now operating in her feminine energy because the universe has gave her the power to do so does not mean that she cannot operate in her masculine energy. She just refuses to turn it on because certain, you know what I'm saying, things happen when that's the case. You know what I'm saying? But listen, if you are a man who like wants a woman to treat you a certain type of way, you know what I'm saying, you got to shake out of that whole mentality of aggression and power and control. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta win. That's the only way I see validation. You know what I'm saying? Because for people like me, or just me personally, I see through that. I don't care if you get your power and control over winning. You feel me? Even if I lose, I still win. Because the power is inside me. I don't look for validation from anything outside of this world. You know what I'm saying? Other than the validation inside myself. So it's actually quite funny because, you know what I'm saying, I can tell who is really for me and who's not. But I'm going to play dumb. And I'm going to act like I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Even though I can clearly see what's real and what's not. But again, it just means you really have to do some soul searching and forgive the people that hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Forgiveness is so important for you to let down that ego. Because when you forgive because of maybe, you know what I'm saying, you knowing that hurt people, which means the people before them hurt them, and that's why they hurt you. And once you learn how to forgive, you start to be able to turn on that equal balance. You know what I'm saying? Of understanding that it is not power in one or more focuses. Power is spread out through everybody. You know what I'm saying? And it's not really power, because then that gives people ego. I would say love. Love to be able to understand who a person is and what they stand for and treat them as such. You know what I'm saying? In those old days, love was taught by you stick around. As a woman, you stick around. As a man, I do what I want. I bring in the money. And you know what I'm saying? I treat you as any way I want to treat you. You don't say nothing, and you take the treatment. You know what I'm saying? And that's that. You know what I'm saying? Listen, nah. That's why a lot of women operate out of their masculine energy. For my culture, you see a lot of women smoking weed. A lot of people women who know how to crip walk harder than a man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of women who could drink a whole bottle of Douce. You know what I'm saying? Listen, because they operate more in their masculine energy. They were not giving the ability to be able to be feminine, which is carried down and passed down. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, it does not mean that they can't be in their feminine energy. It just means they test everybody in their feminine energy. And if they feel safe enough to be able to operate out of that energy, they will. You know what I'm saying? But if they don't, then they're going to have to turn it up a notch. And listen, that fire is hot. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a new day and age where it's the energy that basically turned us against each other. But really, it's not like that. You feel me? The universe gonna test you at whatever it costs, just to see if you really are who you say you are. You know what I'm saying? That's just a part of the game. But as you continue to grow and stand strong in who you are, you know what I'm saying, the more you will start to be able to understand that I am as equal as you are. You will not overpower me. You will not steal my voice. You will not steal who I am to fit and accommodate you. You will treat me as I am a person, just like I treat you as you are a person. You give and give over too much to somebody, they'll take advantage. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they're not a person that feels as if they need to reciprocate because of whatever wounds they haven't healed. They don't know how to reciprocate. They only know how to receive. Meaning they'll do whatever they need to do necessary to have people pour into them, but they don't know how to give back. You know what I'm saying? It should be equal give and take amongst anybody. You know, when you are nice to someone, it shouldn't be because you want something. It should just be that's because who you are. And you have to get used to, you know what I'm saying, understanding that everybody is not going to give back. But then people who are not used to people being nice to them, sometimes it changes their thought process. and they end up, you know what I'm saying, changing into a person that's like, okay, I understand that if I don't give back the same energy that I'm getting, I'm not gonna get treated with nothing. And nobody likes to feel like that. You know what I'm saying? But it's not a world where we're gonna dominate, overpower you, where, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna think less of you because of this, because of that. No, it's a world where everybody is treated by who they are, meaning you treat me with respect, I give you respect. You know what I'm saying? You treat me with kindness, I'll give you kindness. You know what I'm saying? But again, there are some people who don't match energy. Like for me, I don't match energy. The moment I see that you ain't gonna give me what I give you, I just refuse to even involve myself with you. Because again, sometimes those people have a hard time looking at themselves. It's not a mental health issue at all. It's just that they don't want to look at themselves because they're too comfortable in their ways. But if enough people apply pressure, at some point they'll be forced to look at themselves. Again, if you want more insight on that, go back and look at all my other videos. I get deep into, you know what I'm saying, people being able to look at themselves. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's more so like, just don't underestimate a woman. You know what I'm saying? Or label her or judge her by the way that she looks. She could be very feminine and very nice and kind and considerate. But that other side of her, you just might not see it. You know what I'm saying? But for a lot of women these days who were raised in particularly masculine energy households, you know what I'm saying, not being able to be feminine because it was suppressed, and they made it out to the other side still being themselves without turning into that masculine energy, which to me is just someone who only sees black. They don't see white. They only see black, which means I will lie, finesse, manipulate, twist it up, yell, aggressive, overtalk you until I get my way. And if I don't, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to dangle something over your head so that you have no choice but to give in to my power and control. That is masculine energy. And I think it's very abusive, emotionally and possibly physically. You know what I'm saying? But the feminine aspect of energy is more so like, okay, I understand that I can't be like that, especially to people that's not like that to me, because I wouldn't get the same results with those people. I'm basically just feeling as if the only time I feel good is when I'm getting and demanding what I want. I do not know how to reciprocate energy, you know what I'm saying, and give people what they give to me, because it could be trauma, not healing trauma. Maybe you was put down a lot all your life, you know, so you be nice and you do that power and control so you can get everything you want, because you're not used to a genuine person who's genuinely nice without wanting anything in return. You know, that's very hard for people to accept these days. It's very hard for people to tell the truth. It's very hard for people to be honest. It's very hard for people to treat people the way they would want to be treated, because they're still harboring that pain of when they weren't treated the best. And again, that means you got to go back and heal and do the work, because hurt people hurt people. Simple. And it's a lot of us who grew up with hurt people. You got to be honest. That's the world we was living in. But it can change if you're willing to heal and grow. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I will not tolerate masculine energy. You know what I'm saying? I will play along and see through it and then operate in a way where I protect myself from it, because it's just, I've learned too much from dealing with it all my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to dumb myself down. I'm not going to be me. I'm not triggered by what people think about me. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you don't speak to me. That don't bother me at all, because you're not about to make me dumb myself down to make you feel good. That's out. You know what I'm saying? But you got to think about it like it takes time for people to heal. And the process for each person is different. You know what I'm saying? But I truly feel like even for people that deal with, you know what I'm saying, the masculine energy on an aspect where they're not aggressive, they don't, you know what I'm saying, yell at you, they don't, you know what I'm saying, mentally, physically abuse you. There are ones that are kind-hearted mental abusers. And what I mean by that is they come in and they finesse you with intercourse. And then they manipulate you and twist your words so that they can get out of the fact that they be lying and they don't be telling the truth. And that leads to them being able to get away with cheating, because when you basically find out they're cheating, they come back and finesse it with something good that you like. And so you never know the difference because your mind is so confused. It's a very skilled tactic in mental abuse. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you're honest and you look for the signs. If you tell the truth, you're going to require someone to tell the truth, to where you're not going to tolerate anyone lying to you. You know what I'm saying? Which means you have to make sure you don't lie, so you can be able to have an opinion and speak out about something. But if you lying too, you can't say nothing to somebody else that's lying. But first, you got to look at yourself. You know what I'm saying? So they're aggressors. And listen, this goes for women too. I done dated some women that was in their masculine energy a lot. You know what I'm saying? They did not know how to operate in their feminine energy unless it was a motive behind it to get something from another woman or a male, whatever. You feel me? However you see it. So listen, understanding and realizing how I think it is now safe for us as women to be able to operate in our feminine energy, and don't let anyone take you out of your space. You know what I'm saying? And if they do, listen, let that fire burn, baby. You know what I'm saying? You got my permission, because we were suppressed. We were not allowed to be ourselves. And I think now it's time to be ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So listen, if you don't know what it is, I just told you. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.